Commissioner Jerome.
Yes.
Commissioner Randolph.
Present.
Chair Cormany.
Present. Present, sorry. Okay, we got everybody called in. Are there any comments from the public at this time? Staff?
No,
Seeing none.
don't see anyone coming to the podium.
Oh, okay, thank you. We are going to do a review and accept the agenda. There is a small change we'd like to make to the agenda, and that is the order of the two items 7.1 and 7.2. One is a sign review, and the other is more of an exterior modification. So we'd like to start with 7.2 before 7.1. Are there any oppositions to that structure? No? Okay, so I'd like to have a vote a motion to approve the agenda, please.
Vote to approve the agenda. Move to approve the agenda, sorry.
Second.
All right, do roll call. Commissioner Amar.
Aye.
Commissioner Hairsty.
Aye.
Commissioner Jerome.
Aye.
Commissioner Randolph.
Aye.
And Chair Cormany.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes unanimously.
Is there any late correspondence?
No, there's not, but I just want to bring everyone's attention to the late correspondence section on the agenda. It says that review of correspondence received for items on the agenda can be found on the Document Center. And if you click where it says underline Document Center, it'll take you right to the area where the late correspondence is, and then you'd look for the date of the meeting. But we don't have any tonight.
Is that new?
Yes.
Yeah, that seems new to me. Great, thank you. And it looks like we do have a couple items on the consent calendar. So is that for me to read? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so these items can be, on the consent calendar, are considered to be routine and will be acted on in a single motion unless someone wants to pull one of the items off the agenda. So
Okay,
if no one wants to pull anything off, then someone can make a motion.
okay, and I'll just do a quick review. There's item 6.1, which is a review of the meetings from our previous meetings. Item 6.2 is a request to install banners on light standards for the Sonoma Valley Fire. And I think that's all I'm seeing on that agenda. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is everybody in consent of that? We have to do a roll call for that, do we? Okay.
Yes.
sorry.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Amar.
Aye.
Commissioner Hairsty.
Aye.
Commissioner Jerome.
Aye.
Commissioner Randolph.
Aye.
And Chair Cormany.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes unanimously.
Okay, now we're moving on to the meat and potatoes of the meeting. So we're going to start with the public hearing, and I mentioned previously we're going to start with item 7.2. Can we get a staff report, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair Cormany and members of the commission. This is a consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve a sign program modification to allow an illuminated wall sign for Mechanic Bank. The tenant space is located along Sonoma Highway, south of where Starbucks is. Everyone seems to know where Starbucks is. The property is in the West Napa Sonoma corridor, and it's zoned commercial. So banks are an allowed use in the commercial zoning district. Back in 1988, the Architectural Review Commission approved a sign program for the Maxwell Village Shopping Center. The sign program allows for the subject tenant space to have two non-illuminated projecting signs on the building. Back in 2003, the Design Review Commission approved a 17 square foot internally illuminated sign for Citibank. And back in 2015, the Planning Commission approved a use permit to establish a teen center in the commercial tenant space. Since then, the teen center has moved out and another bank is moving in. And so, oh, yes, thank you. The proposed sign would replace the existing non-conforming The Club one-sided non-illuminated sign. It's one-sided and is proposed to have an area of just over 37 square feet. The sign would consist of an aluminum face logo and channel letters, and the lettering would be 1.5 feet tall, and copy on the sign would consist of a yellow logo and white lettering. And internal illumination is proposed in the form of LEDs, and the hours that the sign is proposed to be illuminated is from dusk until 5:30, and normal business hours are 8 to 5, 7 days a week. With regard to the sign regulations, typically internal illuminated signs shall not exceed 27 square feet in area, and this proposal is not consistent with this requirement, and that the applicant is requesting a variance from this standard. The maximum size of an internally illuminated sign is 27 square feet, unless a variance is approved by this commission. And staff determined that the basic findings and the variance findings cannot be made to support the proposed sign of 37.5 feet. So staff recommends that this commission approve the sign application as conditioned to reduce the sign area to no more than 27 square feet. I've included the variance findings for reference, but as I stated, staff cannot make the required findings, and this commission would need to provide evidence in the record that the findings can be made in order to allow the approval of the variance. And so here are the basic findings that need to be made to approve a sign that doesn't exceed, an illuminated sign that doesn't exceed 27 square feet. And staff's recommending the sign application be approved, subject to findings and conditions of approval, reducing the maximum size of the sign to no more than 27 square feet. And that concludes staff's report.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for staff from the commission? I do have one. So you mentioned that the club sign was non-conforming. Was it non-conforming due to size, or what was the issue with it?
It was never approved.
Okay, fair enough. But and if it was probably oversized as well.
Right. I don't know how big it was. It just said the club, but if it was larger than 10 square feet, they would have needed to come to this commission, and I don't have a record of that ever happening.
Got it. Okay, thank you very much. Is the applicant available? Can you please come to the podium and give us a little bit about history and about your project, your name, that kind of thing?
Hi, I'm Fernanda Noriega from Hercus Harris Design Associates. I represent Mechanics Bank in this meeting. Mechanics Bank looked at this location for a new bank space. We understand that it was previously a Boys and Girls Club and previously a bank. So the proposal is to remove the club signage and add a Mechanics Bank signage on the front of the building.
It seems pretty straightforward.
Yes.
So, obviously you hired a company or you represent the company that did the sign work, or you represent the overall Mechanics Bank?
No, I represent the architectural design. We work in hand with Mechanics Bank's design team for their signage, but we're not part of that design team.
Right, because I believe there was another vendor for the sign, is that
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from the applicant from the commission?
I have one. Obviously, the regulation doesn't allow you to have more than 27 square feet. Why you're proposing a 37 square feet?
I believe the design intent is to use the space available per the existing building and provide signage that can be seen from the road from Sonoma Highway, and that would allow any customer to locate the bank from that main highway.
Are you suggesting that 27 feet area sign wouldn't be visible?
I think it's just for the size available. That was the recommendation for the signage vendor's design, to make it part of the building and that the sign would fit there in that space.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Mr. Randall.
Hi, thank you for coming here tonight. It's always helpful to have the applicant here. What do you think would be the reaction to reducing the size of the sign to the 27 square feet?
I think we can take a look at the proportions of the signage versus the space available, and we can explore some reduction on the square footage that will be allowed for us. I just think for the perspective of the building available in the distance, that was the best proposal that the signage vendor came up with.
Okay, thank you so much. And they might not have known of the restriction too, so.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? I have a comment to make, and it just maybe a little bit of clarity. We've had some trouble in the past with sign regulations, and there've been approvals where we have had a lot of exceptions on size, and we're trying to kind of contain that. And some of the sizing of that particular property there's an offset from the street. If you get to a certain distance from the street, the sign's going to be bigger. So that may be some of the reason that got to be that size. So I think, and then if it's external illuminated, it's 32 square feet, and if it's internal, it's 27. So it has to do with how it's illuminated too. So there's some factors that you may not have been aware of that might help you understand the situation a little bit better.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, any questions? Hearing none? Okay, are there any public comments, or anybody from the public like to comment?
There are no members of the public who want to comment.
Seeing none, I'm going to close the meeting of the public and bring back to the commission for discussion. So I'm start with Commissioner Jeremy.
I still think that the sign,
Can you use your microphone, please?
I'm sorry. I believe the sign needs to comply with the requirement of the city and reduce the size to 27 square feet.
Thank you. Commissioner Randolph?
Yeah, I agree with my fellow commissioner, and I'm sure your sign group can make it look as perfect as it does right now with some resizing.
Commissioner Randolph? I'm sorry, Commissioner Amar?
Yes, I also agree. I don't think you're that far off as it is. So we've seen people with far bigger signs have to reduce. So I think it'll be an easy adjustment, and appreciate your coming here. And thank you very much for presenting.
And Commissioner Harristy? Oh, sorry, Commissioner Harristy.
Is it on?
Yeah.
I agree with everyone. I think that it should be kept at the size that's required previously. And thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Would somebody like to propose a motion?
I suggest approving the sign application as the staff recommended to limit the size to 27 square feet.
Second?
Roll call vote. Commissioner Amar,
Aye.
Commissioner Hairsty,
Aye.
Commissioner Jerome,
Aye.
Commissioner Randolph,
Aye.
and Chair Cormany.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to move on to the other item, which was 7.1, and this is a discussion about the actual modifications to the exterior of the building. Can we have a staff report, please?
Thank you, Chair Cormany. So moving right along, this is discussion and possible action to approve a design review application to allow for external modifications to the Mechanics Bank. The proposed modifications consist of removing the two most easterly windows on the north face of the building and the brick that's located underneath the windows, facing the parking lot. The windows and brick are proposed to be replaced with an ATM and a night drop for the bank. New wood cladding is proposed to be installed under the ATM and the night drop area as necessary. In addition, 2 new light fixtures are proposed, one on the southeast corner of the building and one over the ATM area. And exterior building modifications for which a building permit is requires design review by this commission. And here are the findings that need to be made in order to approve the application. And staff recommends approving the design review application subject to findings and conditions of approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. Appreciate that. Are there any questions for staff from the commission? Seeing none. The applicant, we know you're here. Tell us a little bit about this part of your project, please.
So this is part of the bank's overall design, it usually includes an ATM and a night drop, and it includes a surround that matches the burgundy logo for Mechanics Bank. It would be placed on the front facade of the building, closest to the parking lot, and the two light fixtures are to provide the AB 244 compliance for security around an ATM.
Are there any,
So at this time, you might want to ask the commission if they're willing to consider the new light pole.
Oh, yes. One additional item that is part of the exterior renovation, per the electrical engineer's findings, the light pole that is now at the parking lot is a little below what is required to meet the AB 244. So he is proposing to add a new light pole on the other side across from where the existing is. And so we could comply with that light security outside of the ATM. The light fixture is pretty similar to what's existing there now, so we would just have an additional light in the parking lot.
And I'm trying to bring up the site plan to show you what's being proposed here, but it's just having a technical problem. Why is it not opening?
while we're waiting, I have a question, maybe we can go with it. So you're talking about an additional, my question is, are those illuminated? I don't know that, what you mentioned, was it 24?
AB 244?
Yeah, does that require continuous illumination nighttime, or what's the
Yes.
requirement?
So since the ATM is available 24/7, it does require for security reasons for the lights to be on for the all night from like 5 in the afternoon until 5 in the morning. So all throughout the night. And that light is proposed in front of the ATM for when the customer approaches the ATM, a light around for visibility around the corner of the building, and then for light to be over the parking area where the customer would park and use the ATM or the night drop.
Because I have some firsthand knowledge of that facility, and I know that those lights are on a timer, so it might make sense to have that standalone pole for another benefit, because you can control it independently, make sure it's on continuously, right? Was that part of the consideration?
Yes.
Thank you. It's okay,
Yeah.
Wendy. We always have to do a little bit of technicals, right? Or else it wouldn't be a meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's the site plan, and is this,
It's a little bit more towards the bottom.
is my cursor showing up?
Yeah.
So is it where this X is?
More. So it's on the left side. And there it is. It's that little box right
here?
there. It's on the third parking space.
Okay, and then,
And the next sheet shows the AB 244 study that requires for that light to be part of the parking lot.
and there's a picture of where it would be, and then, oh shoot, I opened the wrong. I'm just trying to, and that was the design of the light, right? Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
And
that, is that, sorry, is that similar to the other light fixtures in the parking lot?
it's I attached a photo and an alternate for consideration as well. I think it's open right next to it, the RXSX.
Oh.
Oh, well, there's the picture of the existing lights.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, here.
So
So
here's that, and then I'll open the RX file.
And that's the proposed light. So it's pretty similar in style.
Is it just one light as opposed to two?
Mhm.
Okay.
Is it the same height as the previous, those other ones?
It would be at the same height, correct?
Thank you.
So I apologize for the interruption. I just wanted to make sure that she brought that up.
Thank you.
It's at this commission's discretion if you are willing to consider the light fixture tonight. You don't have to, but it would certainly help them if you could.
I don't see any reason why not to. The agenda seems like we can handle it. So, are there any questions from commission to the applicant? Seeing none. And again, we don't have any public comments. At this time, I'm going to close the meeting to the public, and we can just get some feedback from the commissioner. Let's start with Commissioner Moore.
I think this is all pretty straightforward, and I think your design looks very nice. And I personally think it's a good little spot to brighten it up a little bit. And it's right on the highway. People are using that pathway a lot, so having extra light on that little corner, I think, is actually like good way more than one way, a little extra security. So I'm fine with the lighting situation, and I'm fine with the design as proposed.
Thank you. Commissioner Hairsty.
I agree. I think as well, the light would be a nice addition there. The parking lot's a little difficult to maneuver around in anyway. It's always has been, and I think a little bit more lighting might help. So yeah, I think it's going to look great. It's been empty too long.
Commissioner Randolph.
Yes, agree with my fellow commissioners on this. It's very straightforward, and I think you've got a good solution, and obviously something that you're required to do, and it's just going to be a plus for that corner. So,
Mr. Jeremy.
I agree with our comments.
Thank you. Yeah, and my feedback on it, I think the additional lighting would be welcome. I'm actually happy you brought that up, because my first concern with the ATMs was like, are they going to be illuminated enough to be a security? And then honestly, I think having the additional light that you're controlling in the parking lot is to your advantage, because then you're not subject to the cycles or timers of somebody else. You know it's always going to be illuminated. So I think it'd be really helpful to include that in all of this. So with that, I'd like to see if somebody would like to propose a motion, please.
I move that we approve the application as submitted. Do we need to say anything about the extra light fixture, Wendy?
Yeah, I think just as presented by the applicant.
Including the RSX2 LED luminaire.
I second.
Okay, do a roll call vote. Commissioner Amar,
Aye.
Commissioner Hairsty,
Aye.
Commissioner Jerome,
Aye.
Commissioner Randolph,
Aye.
Chair Cormany.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes unanimously.
I think congratulations and good luck with your project. I think it'd be welcome to have a bank at that facility again. I think
Yay,
we're all
thank
looking
you so
forward to
much.
it. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. So the next item for discussion is our annual report, item 8.1. Wendy, can we have a little bit of feedback on that?
Sure, thank you. So every year, we look at our goals and our accomplishments from our certified local government annual report. It was included in the agenda. I'm not going to go over it in too much detail. Just I'd like to remind everyone, including myself, that as staff and design review commissioners under the certified local government, we are each required to attend one training per year. And I'm trying to do better about letting everyone know when there are training opportunities. So if you see one that looks good, take it and just let me know, and then we can report on it. And so if you don't have any changes to the annual report, if someone could just make a motion to approve, and I can send it off to the state tomorrow.
Would somebody like to propose a motion, please?
I suggest approving the report as is prepared.
Do you have a second?
Second?
2 seconds.
Roll call?
Roll call vote. Commissioner Amar,
Aye.
Commissioner Hairsty,
Aye.
Commissioner Jerome,
Aye.
Commissioner Randolph,
Aye.
and Chair Cormany.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes unanimously.
Okay, and then the last item is item 8.2, and this has to do with design review and our regular meeting date.
Right, so the beginning in June, the Planning Commission meeting is going to change from the second Thursday to the third Thursday. And so staff was wondering if commissioners would be willing to change the date of this meeting from the third Tuesday to the second Tuesday. And the reason for that is and we can keep it on the third Tuesday. It's just in preparation of both the meetings. Sometimes it's challenging to get one agenda packet out by Friday, so if we need to get two, it's just more challenging for staff, but we thought we'd put it out there and see if everyone was available on the second Tuesday. If not, we can keep it on the third Tuesday.
Is there options for any other day? Is it the Tuesday's the day?
Well, I just thought,
Consistency?
since we've typically been meeting on Tuesdays, that I didn't really look at any other dates.
No, that's fine. It's
But I
just a question.
can, and it's nothing that we have to change tonight. There are other groups that use this meeting room, so I need to make sure that it's available.
Okay. Like feedback, let's start with Commissioner Moore.
I have no problem with the second Tuesday of the month. I'm also interested in changing, for me, the ideal would be a Wednesday.
Commissioner Haristi?
Since I'm new, I'm okay with Tuesday, Wednesday, third Wednesday, second Wednesday, whatever. I'll just go with the group.
Thank you. Commissioner Jeremy?
I have no objection to the change.
Commissioner Randall?
Yeah, Tuesday, second Tuesday works fine for me. More challenged on other days. Time for the doodle.
Yeah, I could make either one work, so I don't have a problem. So what would you like to do at this point, Wendy?
Well, it looks like we have one commissioner that would prefer a totally different day on a Wednesday, which is something that we can explore, but it looks like maybe Commissioner Randolph might not be able to make Wednesdays.
That's all right. I can do the Tuesday. It's fine.
So it sounds like everyone except Christopher Johnson, I don't know his schedule, could make the second Tuesday. Is that something we want to do?
Yeah, I think the consistency of the Tuesday, because I'll forget. I'm so used to meetings being on Tuesday. I mean, I think that's helpful, and switching it a week doesn't seem like that big of an imposition to me. I'm in favor of it.
Well, if that's okay, then we can go ahead and switch it to the second Tuesday in June.
Okay.
So in May, if we have a meeting, right now we don't have any items scheduled for the meeting, but that could change. So in May, it'd still be the third Tuesday, but in June, it'll be the second Tuesday.
That's fine.
If we
Okay.
could please have a reminder email for that
Oh,
one,
yeah.
that'd be great. Thank you.
I think that would be a good idea, Matt. Could you help us with that? Great.
Yeah, I don't see any real problem with that. It seems to makes sense to me.
I have a question. Do I share this on?
Yeah.
Sure.
It turns red when it's on, yeah.
I'm just wondering, that sometimes there isn't a meeting, if there's no agenda, that they're just, okay.
Yeah, and when that is the case, we will send an email out to everyone saying, hey,
There is one.
we don't have any items. Usually I check in with the chair first. We don't have any items. Would you like to have a meeting? Are there discussion items, or should we just cancel the
Okay.
meeting for the month?
Okay, I'm clear, thanks.
Thank you.
So if someone would like to make a motion to change the meeting date, that would be helpful for us. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to change the meeting date of the Design Review and Historic Preservation to the second Tuesday of the month.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Amar,
Aye.
Commissioner Hasworthy,
Aye.
Commissioner Jerome, Commissioner Randolph,
Aye.
Chair Cormany.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes unanimously.
There we go.
Okay. Are there any issues or updates we need to bring to attention of the commission?
Yes, so last month I said I was going to have election of officers on this agenda, and I forgot. So we'll put that on election of officers for the next agenda. Other than that, I don't have any other updates.
Are there any comments from the commission?
I'd just like to, I'm going back.
Okay.
Issues update. I would like to welcome Vicki
Yeah.
Harristy to the commission,
Thank you.
appointed by Sandra Lowe. So thank you for joining the commission.
Thank you.
It's really great to have you. Thank you for
Yes,
volunteering.
Nice to have a fresh face.
Yeah, thanks a
Thank you.
lot.
So with that, there's no more comments from the commission? Oh my God, we're gonna adjourn.
Oh, that was easy.
Okay, I guess we're officially adjourned at 6:30.
Wow. That was kind of nice for my first meeting.